Greetings that are friendly. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's September. You know what that means. Well, to me anyway, September always meant October and waiting. For you see, us Halloweeny types, the ghosties and the pumpkins, they don't go away. They linger inside of our brain candies, only to be cracked open during the fall time like some sort of cognitive piñata. Whenever summer goes through its identity crisis and begins to shake off the leaves, and that crisp cemetery air creeps through your nose, and you begin to fire your brain off at a higher synaptic rate, we become our maximum selves come the Halloween time, whatever that means, and the spiritual gates shall open up and guide us forth. Let's do a watercolor painting tonight, shall we? I'll throw in some ghosts and pumpkins along the way. Let's go over the materials list for this painting, shall we? I went ahead and already inked this piece, but for what I used to ink it, I used the good old standard Sakura Micron pens, which are a great fan favorite of illustrators, and have something of a bit of a sensitive nib, which is kind of prone to snapping if you have something of a heavy illustrative hand, but luckily all you really need is just a good archival ink, which means it will not fade over time. And there's other brands out there on the market, such as Faber-Castell, or you can use something like a Copic Multiliner, or something like Le Pen. You can draw with Le Pen. Just find the one that works right for you. I like the different nibs, and I like to try out different ones for different techniques. Picked up a Windsor and Newton watercolor tablet from Walmart, and you can too. And this one comes with the white cake, and the reason I'm making note of that is because I will be using some techniques that will make it look like I'm mixing, say, gouache or something with a watercolor, but actually I'm just mixing white watercolor with them. A hot pink Sharpie. One of these. This is a jelly roll, and if you can find these pens, I highly recommend you scooping them up. The jelly roll pen is actually, this one is just nothing more than a white ink. I just am really fond of the jelly rolls from the way that the nib plays on the paper. That good old ballpoint pen rolls across very nicely and distributes the white ink really well. And I used these to great effect back in the day. The last but not least tool that I will be using more than anything else is a water pen. And a water pen, for those of you who've not seen one, is a type of specialized paintbrush that has a water reservoir in the back, as you can see. And the major benefit of using one of these is that it has immediate water distribution on demand, which is great for mixing pigment on the canvas, or for wicking pigment off of the paper, and so many other little techniques that saves invaluable hours from painting just by using this simple tool. So if you're into watercolor, I highly recommend you picking one of these up and giving it a try. I believe after that we are ready to paint, so without further ado, let's get started. Ta-da! And we're done! This particular painting was done on 9 by 12 inch Bristol board with watercolor. And I highly recommend you bust out those watercolors and contact those ancient spirits immediately. And witches, if you're listening, cackle into the night and grab your brooms. We need you witches and your conjuring forces more than ever. Who cares if it's September? Alright, I hope you had a good time watching. I'll see you later. Stay creepy.